Hey everybody, Mac here, and we are working on the quadratic equation. This is version B. I do have a version A where I've done some problems already, and I do have a video where I talk about this, and all of that can be found at maxtutorials.com. Okay, this is the section that's called quadratic equations. So go look at that, and I gave you many different ways to solve for them. And then if you can't solve, if it doesn't fit in any of those, this would be the final way to try. Now, the cool thing about the quadratic formula, once you memorize it, you can plug any quadratic equation into it and it'll work. The only thing is it does take longer, and so you may want to use one of the other methods because they're a lot quicker. All right, but if you're stuck, you're in a pinch, you can always do this if you're not sure what to do. All right, so let's go ahead and do number one. Remember, the a is in front of the x squared, the b is what's in front of the x, and the c is what's floating out. So my a here is going to be 2, my b is going to be a 5, and my c is going to be a -1. Make sure you use the sign. Now, we're going to plug it into that formula. So opposite of b is a -5, plus or minus the square root of b squared, that's 5 squared, minus 4 times a times c, all over 2a, which is 2 times 2, because my a is 2. That's all I'm doing. I'm going to blow this up a little bit. It kind of saves some room. Okay, so that's going to turn into -5 plus or minus square root of 5 squared is 25. Now watch what I do. I have a negative times a positive times a negative. So it's going to be positive because I only have two negatives. 4 times 2 is 8 times 1, still 8. Boom, all over 4. I'm going to just go across here, and I'm going to go -5 plus or minus square root of 33 over 4. I can't break down 33. I can't divide 5 and 4. So that, my friends, is our final answer. Okay? Let's keep going. Let's go on to number 2. Let's first of all get our A's, B's, and C's. My A is 3. My B is, watch this, -6. And my C is 1, -6. Okay? So we're going to start with the opposite of B. What's the opposite of -6? +6. Plus or minus the square root of B squared. You put that in parentheses. Minus 4 times A times C, all over 2A. Okay, that's going to turn into 6 plus or minus. All right, let's slow down here. -6 squared, that's going to be a positive 36. Negative, no more negatives, so it's going to be a -12 all over 6, which is going to become 6 plus or minus root 24 all over 6. Now, I'm going to go break down my 24 right here. That would be 8 times 3. And my 8 is 2 cubed, so there's 3 2's. Learning about the section when I worked on reducing a radical, boom, boom, that's going to become a 2 root 6. Okay, and if that was a little bit too quick for you, go back to the radical section at maxtutorials.com. All I'm doing is I'm restating 24 as a 2 root 6 all over 6. Now, when I do that, I can reduce with the 6, but I have to do what's on the left and what's on the right, okay? I think it might be better, at least for early on, for me to write it separately. That's 6 over 6 plus or minus 2 root 6 over 6. And that's going to equal 1 plus or minus root 6 over 3, okay? Boom. All right, let's keep going. Let's go on to number 3. I'm going to get my A is going to be 4. My B is going to be -4. My C is going to be a -1. All right, so what's the opposite of B? Okay, well, -4 is B, so the opposite of B is a +4. Plus or minus the square root of, what's B squared? -4, -4, boom, boom, squared. -4 times A times C. Let's keep that covered. There we go. All over 2A, which is 2 times 4, because there's my A. Okay? So now that's going to become 4 plus or minus square root of -4 squared is 16. Negative times a positive times a negative is positive. And that's going to become a 16 all over 8. That's going to become 4 plus or minus square root of 32 over 8. Well, I bet you I can break 32 down. I'm going to do it right up here. 32 is going to be 8 times 4. 8 we learned is 2 times 2 times 2. And 4 is 2 times 2. I got a bunch of 2's there, don't I? Okay, so there's a pair of 2's, pull it out. There's a pair of 2's, pull it out. And I got a 2 left over. So that's going to be 4 root 2. 4 plus or minus 4 root 2 over 8. Boom. That's also 2. So I'm just going to get 1 plus or minus square root of 2 all over 2. Okay, and that's how I get that. There's different ways to reduce. I'll do a few different ways, and you pick the one that you like to do. Okay, so now this one, my A is going to be 5, my B is going to be 2, and my C is going to be negative 2. All right, opposite of B, that's going to be negative 2 plus or minus the square root of, what is B squared? 2 squared minus 4 times A times C, which is a negative 2, all over 2A. Boom. I'm just plugging in. That's all we're doing. Okay, and that becomes a negative 2 plus or minus square root of 2 squared is 4. Negative 4, positive 5, negative 2. I have 2 negatives, so I know it's going to be a plus. 4 times 5 is 20. 20 times 2 is 40. All over 10, which becomes negative 2 plus or minus square root of 44 over 10. I bet you I can break down 44. That's going to be 11 times 4. And I know that 4 is just 2 times 2. So it's going to be 2 root 11. Okay? So negative 2 plus or minus 2 root 11 over 10. That's going to become, when I do this one, that's going to become a 1 over 5, and that's also a 1 over 5. So I'm going to get negative 1 plus or minus root 11 over 5. And that would be my final answer, sloppy as that is. Okay? Let's keep going. Let's go on to number 5 here. Okay? This one feels like one that's going to be a little different. I'll show you what I mean. A equals 6, B equals 1, C equals negative 1. All right, well, let's just plug it in. Okay, opposite of B. Opposite of B would be a negative 1 plus or minus the square root of B squared, which is 1 squared minus 4 times A times C. All over 2A. All right, let's keep going. Negative 1 plus or minus the square root of 1. Negative times a negative is a positive, so that's going to be plus 24. Oh, yeah, this is going to be a fun one. Over 12, which becomes a negative 1 plus or minus square root of 25 over 12. Okay, all that's really cool. The only problem is that I gotta, there's more I can do here, right? And so I go, okay, so I got that square root of 25, so I better deal with that. So that's going to be negative 1 plus or minus, what's the square root of 25? 5 over 2. So now let me just write this separately. I'm going to write negative 1 plus 5 over 2. And I'm going to write over here negative 1 minus 5 over 2. All I'm doing is I'm doing the plus minus. That's going to become 4 over 2, and that's going to equal 2. This one, add a line, change the sign, is going to become a negative 6 over 2, which is going to become a negative 3. Okay? And so that, my friends, oh, I'm sorry, that's a 12. I just missed a 2 right there. That changes everything, does it not? Okay, sorry about that. Silly, silly mistakes. Okay, so that's going to become a 1/3. Okay, and that's going to become a negative. There we go. 1/2. Okay, and that's our answer for number 5. So that one does come out as just 2 normal numbers. All right, here we go. 6. My A is 7. My B is negative 3. My C is negative 1. Opposite of b, which is 3, plus or minus the square root of b squared, negative 3 squared, minus 4 times a times c, all over 2a, which is 2 times 7. All right, and that's going to become 3 plus or minus square root of, what's negative 3 squared? 9. Negative times a positive times a negative is a positive, and that's going to become a 28 all over 14. Then I'm going to get 3 plus or minus the square root of 37 over 4. Guys, that's it. I can't break down 37. I've got a final answer right there. And that's it. It looks weird. It looks scary, but it's not. It's okay. We're done. We're going to go on to number 7 now. What's my A? A equals 1. B equals 2. C equals 2. Opposite of B, plus or minus the square root of B squared minus 4 times A times C, all over 2A. This is going to be a fun one. Watch this. Negative 2 plus or minus the square root of 4 minus 8 all over 2, which is negative 2, plus or minus the square root of negative 4 over 2. My friends, what is negative 4? Square root of negative 4? The answer is you can't do it. You cannot take a square root of a negative number. Once you see a negative number instead of a square root, your answer is this big fat 0 with a line through it, or no solution. Okay? That's all you do. Now, just to give you some fancy words, everything underneath this is called the discriminant. Now, as of now, I don't have a video just separated. But everything under the square root, the big fancy word for that is the discriminant. If you just do the discriminant and not everything else, and you end up getting a negative number, the answer is no solution. If you end up getting a perfect square, you didn't have to use this method. You could have factored it, okay? And you're going to get two rational solutions is what we call it. And then if you end up getting just a normal number to have a square root, we would call those 2 irrational solutions, okay? So anyways, that's something that I haven't gone over, but if you ever hear the word discriminant, all that means is the stuff inside the square root, all right? A equals 3, B equals 4, C equals negative 2. Opposite of B, plus or minus the square root of B squared minus 4AC, all over 2A. Just plug it in, that's all we're doing. Negative 4 plus or minus the square root of 16 plus 4, because of the two negatives, 4 times 3 is 12 times 2 is 24, all over 6, which is negative 4 plus or minus the square root of 40 all over 6. Now let's just do 40 off on the side here. 40 becomes 4 times 10, which is 2 times 2, which is 5 times 2, boom, boom, which is going to be 2 root 10. So this, just restated the 40, not doing any other math, negative 4 plus or minus 2 root 10 all over 6. Okay? And now what you're going to do here, I'm going to do this a little differently. Negative 4 over 6 plus or minus 2 root 10 over 6. This is going to reduce to 2 over 3. So negative 2/3 plus or minus root 10 over 3. Now, you didn't really need to break them up. This is a correct answer. But you may see it like this on your answer key. Because they're both under 3, you can write it like this. Okay? And that's it, my friends. So this is how we do quadratic equation. You're 2/3 of the way through there. If you're feeling comfortable, great, move on. If not, if you want to see me do a few more, I've got version C, and I'm happy to show you some more.